This is gonna be a weird video. Okay, here we go. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my first vlog ever, I guess. I'm gonna try experimenting with these things and seeing how they go. A friend of mine brought it to my attention that I don't really talk about my life in general that much when it comes to streaming, and it's kind of a thing that a lot of people have been doing the last couple years, and I don't know, I think I'm just kind of like a boring guy that wants to play video games, but I do have my stories and experience and things I want to talk about that maybe I should share sometimes. And I actually wanted to start with a rough one here. I tweeted out this weekend that I'm taking the weekend off from streaming, and I did that. I took a couple days off. I was going through a really, really rough breakup. But it was the weirdest breakup I've ever had in my life. I don't know about you guys. What do you do when you go through a breakup? For me, I usually find routines, and I go hard on routines. For me, it's usually like the gym I pick up. I usually try to look around for a sport or something to do. I usually attempt to go hard into some kind of game. For me, it's been League of Legends lately, actually. I've been playing Vex like crazy. I play a lot of Hearthstone Battlegrounds with emo music blasting in the background, and usually that's enough to push me through. But this last breakup, man, it was kind of weird for me. I'm not gonna lie. About 4 weeks ago, my girlfriend at the time and I broke up after about, I guess we'll round up and say nearly 2 years. Things were looking pretty good. I thought we were in a pretty good spot. We had a lot of plans for the beginning of November, which I thought was going to lead well into the holidays, and I was actually quite excited for all that stuff. She showed up to my house one day just in complete tears, and we wound up talking for about an hour and a half. Kind of just sat out in the cold for a little bit, and she just couldn't get out any information. It was kind of awkward. Honestly, we just kind of sat there in silence. But it seemed like towards the end, I was like, so it seems like you're just wanting to break up, and I don't think you have to explain anything if you want to break up. Just say it. And then we walk out of this. And eventually she wound up getting through and saying it, and, you know, hugged her goodbye, and that was the end of it for the night. It was a little rough. But, it happens. It's life, right? So I went into my routines that I normally do, and they just weren't working at all. Just kept thinking about her. Things were constantly just popping up, constant reminders, you know, which is weird, because, like, every other breakup I've had in the past, I think I've had, like, 4 or 5 serious relationships in my lifetime. Every single time that I've been breakup, it's been like, oof, that needed to happen, or like, okay, well, that we were getting there, or I go through my routines and I start working and dating and I have a lot of fun, like that kind of stuff, and none of that was happening this time. Just kept circling back to her. So this last weekend, when I tweeted out that I was going to take it off, we wound up coming in contact with each other, and I just gushed all my emotions to the point where I was probably fucking obnoxious, like all of it, dumped it all onto her. And she was very timid, very one-line responsive, very generic responsive. Mentioned that she hurt too, and then I was hurting as well. And so, like, I started pushing the idea of, like, we should meet up and have a conversation. Let's talk about this. Let's either A, resolve our issues, or B, have a better foundation for the breakup, right? So we both can feel good about it. It took some convincing, a little bit of pushing, and eventually we got to it, and we wound up going to a park, and she came there, and I was so thankful that she did that. Like, huge kudos to her for doing that. But it was so weird. She had such a different personality than she's ever had. She, like, showed up in, like, glasses and, like, sunglasses, trying to, like, hide her face and everything, and was very standoffish. Wouldn't, like, talk to me. There was no words that would come out. It was very odd. But I was like, okay, this is my one chance. So I spent 25 minutes just speaking, trying to bring up any issues we had, all that stuff. You know, I don't want to get into detail, but just trying to bring it all up. And eventually I got a little bit of headway, started talking, started getting more information. And what came up, actually, as one of the major reasons why she wanted to break up was she doesn't believe in my streaming, my career, what I've been doing for 6 years, which was a massive shock to me. I don't really value much in life, but I value my Twitch stream and my YouTube stream substantially. It's what I've worked on. It's my business. It's who I am. It's what I've done for the last few years, you know? So I was a little taken back by that. But I was like, hey, go on with information. And she brought up that Twitch is a dying platform, that there's no room for growth, that I'm eventually just going to fall on my face, just like every other Twitch streamer, that we're all a bunch of nobodies just playing video games. And it was really rough to hear, but I was still trying to figure out, okay, well, what are the concerns? What are you bringing up? And then she just cut me off just so aggressively and was like, can you buy me a $5 million house? I still, even repeating that, just like, what do you even say to that? How do you even respond to someone about that? In the moment, I took a couple seconds and then I was like, if that's something you're into, maybe we could work on it together. You know, like that's all I knew what to say. And she just started busting up laughing and mocking me, and said, "You'll never be able to afford a $5 million house." And I've never in my life gone from like pure sadness and frustration and non-understanding of an event to disgust so quickly. So I guess the entire reason why like I'm telling you this story is because one, I imagine I'm not the first person in the world to have this type of conversation about any passion, right? It doesn't have to be streaming; it can be anything. It can be a job or a business or something that's like not quite kicking off, but you're working hard and you're enjoying your job. And I just want to like say to anyone that has ever had that feeling, like, fuck them, you know? Like, if you are doing something that you're passionate about, you're able to clock in every day and you walk away and your life isn't falling apart because of it. Kudos to you. Keep doing it. I want you to be supported by anyone around you. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think that I am going to just do my best to bounce back from this. Like, I suddenly have this motivation that I haven't had since Heroes of the Storm to prove that, like, I'm not a piece of shit. Like, I've been doing this forever. I have a host of hobbies. Like, I can cast, I can commentate, I can bring entertainment, I can play through a game, I can do a streamline story, I can now edit. I've been working on that all year. I've been building up my YouTube. It's slow growth, but I've been building up like crazy. So thank you for everyone that's been tuning in. I just want people to know that I guess people go through this shit. I had no idea that that happens, and so I just kind of wanted to make a quick little video on it. I wanted to start picking up vlogging, talking about my life experiences. They won't be as severe as this one. I guess what I overall want to say here is that I want to make sure that 2022 is the biggest year that I've ever had, and that is the biggest plan.